Hi friends, once again we are back through this online mode to continue our discussion, continue our learning with regard to our topic development. And we said many things which you can consider as a sign of development. One thing that we said is the increase of income. That will be considered as a sign of development. But we cannot consider the increase of income only as a means of finding out development. And we saw so many examples. Example like the state of Maharashtra was got a very high average income, but at the same time they are lagging behind in healthcare. A lot of infants die there. A lot of people are illiterate there. So a lot of problems are there. So they have money, but they are not able to live a standard life. They are not able to give extension of life to the newborn babies. They die. Quite many of them die within a year of their birth. So that's why we say money alone is not enough. We need to have so many other things also in order to say a country is developed or a state is developed one, and so on. So today we shall consider about the topic public facilities, which will mean that it is a sign of development. So having a high amount of money or average income and keeping it in the pocket is not enough. We need to spend it for the public so that everyone will have a standard of life. That is how we can raise the standard of life and slowly achieve development. So today we shall discuss with the public facilities. So again we come back to that example of three states: Maharashtra, Kerala and Bihar. So Maharashtra is leading in matters of income, average income. Kerala is lagging behind and Bihar is very much behind. But here when we talk about literacy or the infancy death rate, all that Maharashtra is not the first, but Kerala is ahead of Maharashtra. Though the annual income of the Kerala is less, but it is ahead in healthcare and it is ahead in literacy rate and so on. So that's why we say money alone is not enough in order to consider our state is developed or not, our country is developed or not. We need to consider so many other facts. And other thing we can say, apart from literacy and death rate, we can also say the environment. The environment in which we live, is it a polluted one? Suppose if you are a developed country, then we should be able to get rid of pollution. We should be able to overcome the pollution and recycle the plastic and other things that are polluting the air, the polluting of the air by vehicles, and so all this we should be able to modernize so that the level of pollution will be much low. So all that we need money and we need to spend that money. Just keeping it is not enough, but we need to spend. So we need to have, what are the things we need to have in order to achieve development? We have money. Just take it for granted that we have a good average income. Then we need to build hospitals, We need to have good doctors. Hospital alone is not enough. We need lot of staff. We can say hospital staff, including doctors, nurses, all trained one, not just not MBBS, but those who are specialized, those who are well trained doctors, so that people will not die of their sickness. Then we need schools and the teachers. So we need school with lot of facilities, not just ordinary building. If you go to the villages, you will see just ordinary buildings. There is no facility, no lab, no library, nothing is there. They are just an ordinary building. That also windows are broken, doors are broken, and at night the animals come and take shelter there, and the children can't enter there in the morning. It will be filled with cow dung, cow urine, all that, and it will be a very filthy situation in the building. In some of the school buildings we can see in the villages, and there hardly any education takes place. So when we say we need schools, we are not just meaning that we should have a building there. It should be a school properly functioning. Teachers should be well trained, and they should have the knowledge, they should have the dedication to take class regularly. So when these things are taking place, we can really say our development will take place. Then what else do we need? We need a good environment, pollution-free environment. So we need environment, good environment. So we need to remove the pollutions. We need to reduce the consumption of plastics and the use of plastics and so on. So anything that is harmful for the health, anything harmful for the people or in the environment, we must remove it. Whatever can be recycled should be recycled and reused again. Instead of just throwing outside, we must recycle it and reuse it again, so that we can reduce the pollution so much and we can save our environment. Then we need other public facilities like toilets, so we need like toilet, public bathrooms and so on, so that the pollution will be reduced and environment will be kept clean and so on. So these are some of the things that we need more and more. So just each one will have to take care. We cannot just say it is a duty of the government or it is a duty of someone else, but everyone has got the responsibility to take care of one's own surroundings and cooperate with the government in order to achieve that development. Only then we can say we are also part of that development. Otherwise it is somebody else's program and we don't feel part of it and we just remain outside and watch it. That is not going to help us. So we need to come forward, we need to be part of that, and then we need to do our level best in order to take care of it. So when we have schools, let's say most of the places only boys are given preference to study, especially if the parents are poor, they have no money to buy textbooks or notebooks, they have no functioning government schools, then they are forced to go to private schools, and the parents may not be able to afford to send all the children to the school. Therefore what do? They give preference to boys, and the girls are left to look after the home, look after the younger ones, look after the surroundings or even field. So that it should not be done. Everyone should be given equal opportunity to excel in their studies, to get literate by themselves and do well in their life. Otherwise the life of the girls are just ruined, we can say. They will be tied up with the home works and responsibilities, and they will never be able to excel according to their talents. And we need to see the example of Kerala again, because there is infant mortality is very low, the literacy level is very high, and so every state should have this kind of adequate provisions, adequate facilities, public facilities, schools, hospitals, public bathrooms, the clean environments, all these things we should have. Then only we can really say we are really in the process of development. And some places they have started PDS means public distribution system. So where people are poor, they can go to this PDS and buy provisions for them. Rice, dal, oil, kerosene, all those things that are basic for their survival is given at a subsidized rate by the government. We call it PDS shop, public distribution system shop, or we also call it some of our houses or in some of the areas as a ration shop. So we cannot go and buy any amount we want, but the amount is fixed. For one family with this many members, this much items will be given, this much quantity will be given, so that we can buy for a very low rate. And people, especially those who are poor, they will be able to benefit from it. So by getting things from this, they can get rid of their malnutrition. So most of the children after their birth they die, it is because of malnutrition. The parents are not healthy and they do not have enough food to eat, and as a result the child will grow weaker and weaker, and within 1 year it dies. So in order to avoid that, in order to provide good food, nutritious food for the people as well as for the children, government has started this PDS system. So in almost all parts of our country we have this, and in our own locality we will find maybe other shops, not the name may be given differently. It is sometimes called fair price shop. I hope you remember fair price shop. That is same as this PDS system. So here we will get things for a cheaper rate. So people who are poor, they can go and buy from the fair price shop. There they will get the things for a cheaper rate, and so that people can improve their health. So that is about the public facilities that are required in order to make our life more comfortable, to really say that we are developed and so on. Now let us see about activity 3. In your textbook you can see page number 13. There's an activity is given, activity 3. That is about body mass index, BMI, body mass index. So that is the height and the weight. So every person, they should have their height according to their weight, or their weight according to their height. So in order to find out whether your weight is okay or not, or whether you are underweight or not, there is an activity in order to find out. So first you have to take the inchy tape and you have to measure your height in meters. How many meters you are tall, you have to find out. So the inchy tape you will find centimeters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 100 centimeters is 1 meter. So you find out how many centimeters your height. If you are 125 centimeters tall, that means you are 1.25 meters tall. So 100 plus 25, 100 centimeter is 1 meter. So 125 centimeter means 1.25 meter. Then what you need to do? You need to multiply that with 2. You have to multiply with 2. For example, your height is 1. Let's say 50 meters. 1.50, that is 1.5 meters. Then you have to multiply with 2. So it will be, how much it will be? It will be 3. Then you have to take your weight. What is your weight? Then what will you do? Suppose your weight is 50. You are 50 kg. Your weight is 50 kg. So you have to divide 50 by 3. What will you get? Divide 50 with 3. How much? It will be like, it will be 16 point something, is it not? 16 point, can say. So your weight should be, your average weight is 16.1. Your body mass index BMI is 16.1. So that is very low. For example, let us say, see your book. If this BMI is more than 25, then the person is overweight. So this BMI should not be more than 25. If it is more than 25, then it is overweight. That person will be very fat. It will be overweight. Then if it is less than 18.5, then that person would be considered undernourished. So it should not be below 18.5. So your BMI should be between 18.5 and 25. Otherwise, the person will be, if it is more than 25, the person is overweight, and if it is below 18.5, the person will be undernourished. That person is not healthy. So here in this case, the person is 16.1. So he is undernourished. He is not reaching the minimum level. So you should be between 18.5 and 25, your BMI. Then we can say you are really a healthy person. So each of you, we can measure and see. And it may not be exactly applicable in the case of growing children. So you are all in the process of growing. Sometimes you see some students are very lean, but then when they reach certain age, they suddenly become fat, they become healthy, and so on. So around till the age of 20, you will be growing up. So for you, you cannot just say by looking at BMI that I am undernourished or overweight and so on. So after some 20 years, 22 years, we can follow this method and find out really whether you are undernourished or overweight. You can see some of your elders' height and weight, or your parents' height and weight, and see whether they are falling in which category, whether they are healthy or not, or whether they are undernourished or not, or whether they are overweight or not. That is one way of checking the person's health, whether this person is healthy or not. Then Human Development Report. There is a report called Human Development Report. Human Development Report, or it is also, so once it is realized that even though the level of income is important, that is what we have been saying. So income may be very high, people may be rich, but there should be enough other things in order to show the signs of development. As we said, there should be schools, there should be hospitals, there should be public facilities, and so on. All these should be there. Then only we can really say that we are a developed nation, a developed state, and so on. So, if we don't have these things, then what happens? We may have money in our pocket, but we are not able to make use of it. We are not able to do anything with that money for improvement of our health. So, if we want to say that we are a developed state, then the people should have good health, they should have good job, they should have good education, and they should be living in a very clean environment. All these things are needed. Then only we can really say that we are a developed nation, a developed country. Otherwise, only seeing the money alone, we cannot just say that we are a developed nation. We may have money in our pocket, but we will be living a very miserable, unhealthy, uneducated life. So that should not happen. So, Human Development Report published by UNDP, that is United Nations Organization, compares countries based on educational levels of the people, their health status, and per capita income. So, according to the UN, United Nations, in order to say a country is developed or not, they look at three criteria. First of all, they look the educational status, educational levels of the people. How educated are the people? What is the literacy rate of the people? Then secondly, what they do? They look at the health status of the people. How healthy are the people? How much work are they able to do? Are they getting sick very often? Or are they getting very tired after doing few hours of work? And so on. Then they consider income as well. So these are the three things that they check in order to declare whether a country is developed or not. And it would be interesting to look at the relevant data regarding India and its neighbors from Human Development Report. So this Human Development Report published by UN in 2015, we can see some of the Asian countries that are given there. So let us just go through it. So it is given the Asian countries. The first one is Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka has got per capita income 9,779. 9,779. That is the average income of a person living in Sri Lanka. Then their life expectancy. So, how long the child or person is able to live? Life expectancy is 74.9. So, average life of a Sri Lankan person is 74.9 years. They will live so long. Then the literacy rate is 91.2. The literacy rate is 9142. Then the Human Development Index rank is 73. They have got the 73rd rank in the country, in the world. So Sri Lanka is the 73rd country in the world for human development. And next one is India. And India's is the income is much low, 5,497. So that is the average income of an Indian, 5,400, much less than the Sri Lankans. Then the life expectancy is only 68. So an average Indian will live only 68 years. Then the literacy rate is 62.8 and the rank is 130. So India's rank is much lower than Sri Lanka. You can see Sri Lanka has got a 73rd rank, India is 130, almost 2 times bigger behind. So it is very pitiable. Sri Lanka is such a small country. India is such a vast country with such a vast population, lot of resources, but still India is not able to reach up to Sri Lanka in no way. The average income Sri Lanka is higher. The life expectancy Sri Lanka is higher. The literacy rate is almost 91%, 91 plus 0.2. So 91 plus percentage they are literate, and the rank is 73. Then Myanmar and so on. Myanmar and so little more lower than India. There are 4,608. Then 65.9. Then 92.2. Then 148. So you see the Myanmar, which is also a very small country close to India, they have less income, but their life expectancy is okay, 65.9. Then their literacy rate is much higher than India, higher than Sri Lanka, 92.2%. Then their rank is 148. Then Nepal. Then it is 2,311. Then 69.6. Then 57.4. Then 145. So you can see Nepal's Human Development Index. The income is very low. One person in a year able to get only 2,311 rupees. That is very less. So they are, we can say they are very poor. And the life expectancy is better than India. Indian people live only 68 years, but in Nepal they are able to live a little longer. So money is less, but life expectancy is high. That means they have hospitals and other facilities. Then the literacy rate is very low, only 57. Then another one is Bangladesh. They have 3,191 average income. Then 71.6. Then 58.8. Then 142. So Bangladesh is much low again. Their income is better than Nepal, and their life expectancy is 71, better than India and all these things. So just after Sri Lanka, Bangladesh has got higher life expectancy. Then their literacy rate is low, only 58.8. Then their rank is 142. So it is the situation in our Asian context, the neighboring countries, how they are performing and so on. So we see the situation there. So India has got much better potency, but India is not able to excel because of the interior villages development have not yet come. People don't have job, they just go on working in their farms, they don't have good production, they don't use modern methods. Because of all these things, they are lagging behind. So they need to come up in their life and perform to the best of their ability, so that the income can increase, the public facilities can increase, and so on. That is how we can really come up to the level of development. So for that we need lot of education. Only if you get educated, then we can get a good job. Only if we have money, we can build public facilities, hospitals, and have good food. Then it will increase our life expectancy and so on. So for everything we need education, we need money, and we need full commitment. So today we shall wind up with that, and we'll meet you again in the next class with another topic. So till then,